Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another review for The Penguin. This is episode 7. It was insane. Literally ended with a bang. And I don't know, guys. What did you guys feel about episode 7? Again, this is the lead up to the finale. Did it meet your expectations? I mean, every single episode has been an A, but I mean, we got a huge flashback telling a lot about Oswald and what kind of man he actually is, or something else. And at the same time, what kind of woman Sophia is. So I don't know. What did you guys think about episode 7?
I love that it honed in on characters in a very deep way. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the shortest episode of the season thus far.
It didn't feel like it.
But it didn't feel like it to an extent because you just feel how much. I think even now I have to rewatch it, but like whenever Oswald looks at his mom and when she has a dementia or not, I wonder if the guilt starts reaching back into him about like, man, could I have prevented this any other way? And it also links back to Sophia and how she, like, to me, my favorite scenes of this episode was when Sophia was talking to Oswald's mom, and how you sense the sympathy. Sophia's trying to be her own person, and yet there's a sympathy of like seeing another person's mom after what she witnessed, and her scene with her second niece, if you will. And it was brutal, somewhat merciful scene with her second niece, if I'm not mistaken. I dug it, and I like that. Even with playing with the music, we thought that did Sophia finally pull the trigger, no pun intended, and got Oswald's mom, dad killed there. And she specifically said, "I want him to suffer the way I suffered." But I think she's trying to make him suffer, but not do the same, not follow the cycle of her father.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, like, I don't know. I think Sophia is trying her best to learn from the mistakes of her father, you know? So it's like killing, I think, is a route that, yeah, she has no problem with. But I think she understands that, especially with the 10 years of hell she went through, I think she understands that mental pain can be a lot worse than losing someone. So if she's able to kind of play around by turning people against each other or messing them up mentally, I feel like that's a whole different ballpark for her. And I feel like that's definitely a route she'll go with, you know, just the mental game over the physical game, if you will.
Yeah, but yeah, let's go ahead and unpack it. So the beginning of the episode started with what we've been wanting to know with the brothers. You know, like we don't really know much about them up until this episode. We got an understanding of like their bubbly personality. Like there's different parts you can kind of see from them taken from the mom. You know, they got an older brother trying to be the older brother, the younger brother trying to be his own. And then you got Oswald, and he's just Oswald. Like this craving for attention and this need to be able to connect with his mom supersedes anything. And it's like he's very annoyed by the brothers, but he tolerates them. And I think you see it, you know, when he's walking down the street and he's like, you know, looking at, you know, the guy that he idolizes, which I have a theory about. But it was the way that he approached it. And the older brother was like, no, we got to leave it alone. And he's like, no, that's the man right there. I'm not going to lie, man. That whole storyline was devastating. I think that when Oswald walked back into the house after everything that was said and done, right? And he walked into the house, I think he looked at the blinds for a second and noticed it was still raining, but he didn't even blink, dude. There was zero remorse. There was zero concern. He was just in bliss because in his mind, I'm finally get what I want. Like I finally get to be, you know, with my mom.
And do you think he intentionally tried? I don't think he intentionally tried to do that.
Well, the thing is, that's where I was standing. I was like, maybe it wasn't intentional, but the end result he had no problem with. Like he showed zero sympathy showed no remorse. The only time we've actually seen him get upset about it is when we had uh, Victor,
Vic,
pretending or talking about one of the brothers,
to
and he
his
was
to
like,
his mom, yeah.
"You don't do this, you don't do that," and he started getting all offended about it. But that's like the only sequence or only circumstance where we had any sort of like protection over, his brothers. But other
Yeah.
than that, I mean, it didn't seem like he cared. I mean, he walked in like nothing mattered. Like the way he
Right.
entered the house was like, oh well, who fucking who.
And I
And then
think the way they handle the transitions of the water continuously compounding with them screaming and stuff, as time is just going on and on, we as the viewer are like, no, he's gonna say something. No, he's gonna eventually, but he's not, he's gonna run out of time before something, and he did not. It was almost as though he just let it go outside of his head. Like I don't know way to kind of put it, because like kids are stupid at times, right? Like they can be the most, they don't understand how the world works, so to speak. But one thing that they always catch themselves up on is they will eventually, at the end of the day, be like, "Oh, mommy, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do it." Like, they just like, that was none of him at all. Like, it was almost as though he didn't shed a tear, bro. Like, I don't know how to really describe it.
The thing is, a lot of people, especially psychopaths, like they feel bad because they got caught. They feel bad about the person getting mad at them. They're not upset about what they did. So I mean, the idea that she didn't know, I think is, because I mean, we're at the point where she is over here pretending that she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that whole thing is,
Well,
I think
that's why I think, and now when he visits his mom, the curse, it's almost a curse now for him, like the dementia.
Mhm.
He had an instrument doing it. His thoughts, his relationship with his brothers, he was only thinking about himself. He didn't realize, oh, by the way, someone birthed these kids, someone birthed these two idiots, and it's my mom. And how much does she also love them as much as me? Maybe a little bit more or in different ways. But now how much I'm cool with it, but mom's not cool anymore with it, and how much that I can only imagine what she went through, because to me what broke my heart was when she reacted fiercely against Sophia with a slap. But I do feel like a little bit of the boys, gotta get the boys, it's raining.
Back. She slipped right back into
it was slipping back, and I was just like, how much does he like regret that day, that decision, now seeing the result, how much it took a toll on the family and took a toll on her.
Yeah, I think that, well, first off, Sophia and Mrs. Cobb in the same room, they are some of the most fiercest actresses on this show. And I think that we talked about it episodes and episodes ago. Like, you see so much of themselves, in each other. And this was the first time they're head to head. And it was like a sparring match, man. They were just going at it. But it was the moment, like you said, and I think Sophia was caught off guard by it. She looked, and she was like, she kind of moved out of the way, and she realized this woman's anguish and mental health that was just deteriorating in front of her. And I think that it was two different things going through in Sophia's mind, and you guys can disagree or not. I think one, she saw, oh wow, this is an advantage. I know how to hurt Oswald, right? But the other side of that was like, this is a mom that's been suffering. And truth be told, like when I put the two and two together, I was like, I think that this is what started her mental decline. I think that honestly, this moment put her down this unfortunate trajectory that she's in now. It's just weird, because if you look at the woman that she is in the past versus who she is in the present, when she's like really angry and vicious, that's not the same as that woman that was in the past. So it's almost as though she changed too from all of that. And it's that dichotomy is just so fascinating, because it's the same thing as Sophia. Sophia, when you go back in that flashback episode, that was not her. Like
No.
the circumstance that happened over those 10-year gap and everything that happened after that point changed her into the woman she is now. So it's just like this vicious cycle that both these women throughout this series have shown, and it's insane, bro. I don't know. I'm sorry, I talked too much over that.
No. I think another thing that you could say is that how much seeing Mrs. Cobblepot and hearing how much you see that she visually seeing someone trapped, and how much I think people might miss it. I hope people don't miss it, but how much what's his name told Sophia, "Oh, your mom was trying to leave. She was trying to get you and your brother and leave this life, and I was going to help her to get out, but your dad wouldn't let her go." And it's like how much Aldo's mom is now trapped in this world, and how she again, that's why I think Sophia said "let her be" when she slapped her. Was like she knows that feeling, that vibe, because how many times she felt that in the can.
Yeah,
10 years or those first 6 months or those first few 60 days or whatever she was hoping for some hope to get out of that place. And yeah, man, it's fascinating when you look at the Cobblepots and you see where Sophia is coming from and how much, I guess, class and class and money are the only things that are really separating them. Other than that, they could have been, beloved neighbors. They could have been beloved family members that would have been tight like this. But I think class and the family names are the things that are separating them the most out of everything.
Yeah. And again, this episode really does not feel like the shortest episode because if you go present day, Oswald was kind of doing this thing with Bliss. All of a sudden, he got ran up on, bruh. Maroney came with his men. They ambushed him, and they were basically like, yeah, nah, like, you're going to have to get put down, bro, because you done too much. And, the thing that Oswald has in his pocket is he knows how to make people loyal. He breaks himself down to feel like he's one of the people so that people can connect with him, right? And like he looked at one dude to the side, he's like, oh, he hit the lights, and all of a sudden it's a brawl. It's crazy. And I knew for a fact Oswald's crew, they've made that an empire in the freaking tunnels, bro. Like they're gonna handle themselves. What I didn't know is the altercation with Oswald and Maroney.
Oh,
and how that joint ended, because like they were going back and forth. All of a sudden, Maroney was holding his. I was like, oh, this man's having a heart attack. This is the crazy thing about that fight, right? I think, honestly, that was the first time I realized what Sophia has been saying this whole entire time is absolutely true. He is beyond delusional, because in the fight, he was like, oh, no. He was so upset that he wasn't the person that killed him that he accepted that, no, I was the person that killed him, and this is me. This is my ownership.
Yeah.
And he's that delusional as to believing his actual lies. We've heard him say different stuff and do different stuff, but that was the first time I was like, no, he actually believes this. He's triggered his own mind to believing that this is okay and that this was what the actual truth was. And I was like, bro, like you're gonna with any empire that you gain is gonna be on sand, bro, because you are delusional for real. But I don't know. What did you guys think about how that whole fight transpired and how you gauge Oswald's mental state after this point?
So it was the delusion was definitely there, because he even had me believe in it, because there was a point where he's over the body and he's like, I did this, I killed you, like I did it. And I'm like, wait a second, did he hit him and maybe I missed it or something? Like, did he? Then I'm over here just trying to think like he was gaslighting me as a viewer to believing that shit. Like I must have missed something. Maybe he did kill him. But like, the more you go into it, like the more you got to remember that like almost everyone in this show is crazy. They're like actually crazy. So I think that's what makes this character really fascinating, and it makes the rivalry and the comparisons between both Sophia and Penguin really just entertaining for me, because they're both kind of crazy in their own right, And whereas Sophia, it's not necessarily her fault for her being crazy. It was just the hell she was kind of put through. And Penguin is just, he's just Penguin. So it's like, it's just been really, really interesting to see how they're showcasing the individual or the individual reasons on why each one of them is kind of insane in their own right, and how they kind of use that to their advantage, if you will. Whereas Sophia kind of uses what she's been through to her advantage, everything, helps her think the way she thinks. And Penguin is just kind of unpredictable, it's kind of crazy.
I just had an epiphany, I think. I don't know if that's the right term or not.
No, you got it.
I could see a strange comparison, almost like a bizarre version with Sophia I almost said Sofia Coppola. Sophia Falcone or Gigante with Princess Diana. How she's trapped in this royal family and how she gets twisted, she gets sick at points and whatnot, and how she's trying to escape, but she can't. And how in her own right, Diana's trying to do good with activism and philanthropy and whatnot. And Sophia's trying to do this with an underworld. Like, I don't know. I hope, like, I want to ask her one day. I'm like, did you ever think of Diana, Princess Diana? Like, what if an more effed up version of what happened to Diana if she was a gangster instead of married into a royal family? And I think there's, what's crazy is that what makes Oz dangerous with his crew and the people he gets into his chamber, into his family, is that he's using truth. He came from a poor family. Like, he lived poor. He wasn't, he didn't have a house and whatnot. So he can use this to his advantage, and he can make it relatable. He can make himself relatable, and yet spew some nonsense into it, because I do think he does care for those people to an extent, but in a heartbeat, as long as he's on top and he's the big dog, he doesn't care what it takes to get to that point. So it's dangerous what someone who is relatable can do with the flipped philosophy. Like, especially with middle class or lower middle class, that is very, in one way, ingenious, dangerous, and fascinating, in my opinion. I love that, even going down, Maroney said, going down, the way you treated my wife, my son, I'm going to treat you, and I'm going to return the favor. The way you looked at me eye to eye as a man or as a gentleman, you gave me your word. All right, I'm going to return you the favor. And also, before the light switches go, oh, you smell that? Oh, yeah, I never smelled burnt hair before. And it's just like, whoa, dude, like, adding insult to injury before he goes into fighting mode, I found very intriguing. And to me, that was like, I remember going, what the fuck, dude, was when he knew the bomb was going, and he went to the same place he locked his siblings in to save himself. And it's just like, this show's effed up, man.
Yeah. So that was what I was actually going to bring up next. And so after that happened, Maroni went down. He took ownership of all this and that. He gets a call because we were wondering, what happened to his mom. What was she going to do? And before, this is two different ways we have to play this. The call that he got was from Sophia, but Sophia had already made a distinct choice of how she wanted to play all this out. And, I ain't gonna lie. When me and Busy were watching it, I was like, anxiety. Like, don't open the box. Don't open the box. Like, I was like, please don't have like a severed limb or something of his mom there. And he was even thinking it. He was like, okay, this is what it is. But he was in denial about it. And as soon as he opened it up and you see the bomb, I was like, yo, what is about to happen right here? And like you said, the poetic justice of it all and the sick side of it, he went back into the same exact area that he locked his brothers in, and that saved his freaking life because everybody else was a goner. That joint, from a VFX standpoint, that was amazingly visual. It felt like a movie scene because even though he had got the lights back to these people that were already in the destitute situation, now they don't have nothing because everything is destroyed. And I was just like, again, it goes back to he's trying to build this foundation. It's all on sand, bro, because lies and destruction to try to get to where he's trying to get to. He could care less about those people. You already said it, Ronan. But did you guys think that she had killed her or had cut off a limb, or what did you guys think before?
I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if we saw a severed pinky in there. Honestly, like something of the sense of you know what happened to her brother. So I was expecting something like that, but as soon as we didn't see that, I realized, again, that's what I'm saying. It's all a mental game. As soon as you didn't see a body, I'm like, okay, she's thinking big. So obviously she has something crazier planned.
Yeah. So what led her to that decision is she got a call from God, what's the man's name? Theo's character.
Julian Rush, Dr. Julian.
Julian's like, all right, look, guys, we got a problem. The little girl that you saved, the only one that survived, I think she's about to snitch. You want me to handle it real quick? And Sophia's like, what are you talking about? What does she know? And she goes and visits the little girl. And I don't know if Sophia went there with the intent to kill her or try to shut her up or threaten her. I don't really know. I just know that in her talking to her, she immediately connected with this girl. Like, she was like, man, this girl was born into some craziness. And so was I. And what was the nail in the coffin is when she saw the cuts on her. Now, I was talking to Busy about this. I think that those cuts weren't from being in there. I think those cuts were long before. I think it was just whatever was going on with the family dynamics. I think she was a cutter. I think she was dealing with some serious mental illness stuff before all that happened. And I think that it makes more sense why she would be so trusting of somebody like Sophia to be nice to her and kind of have her go out like, oh, okay. And I was like, why? Why did this little girl do this? And it's just crazy because the little girl was ready and gung-ho to kind of be like, yeah. But the moment that Sophia embraced her, that's all the little girl needed. And I feel like Sophia can connect with that because nobody gave her any of that, ever. I think her brother would have if he could, but he was all messed up. He was drugged out, and he's also trying to figure out how to keep her alive during the situation. But it's just a messed up family. But what did you guys think about the whole dynamic with the little girl and what Sophia did? Because after that point, then she decided, I want to do this my way. I'm going to handle this my way.
I am shocked, and yet I applauded the choice of like, I'm going to tell you what happened, and yet leave it up to chance, if you will. But I'm like, I'm not going to BS you, you know, and not telling you that don't talk, you know, but I'll be like, listen, the people, our family, she said our family, us too, they deserve to die. And in her freaky way was trying to come across and be like, listen, I'm giving you an out that I never got. I'm giving you a chance to build your own way. And I think especially when she saw those marks, that she almost, in a way, I don't think Sophia said it, but she was almost trying to tell her, I'm begging you, please, just get out of here. Like, not because I don't love you, but because you don't want this life. You know, and I think in a way she was telling her, I wish somebody was in my shoes when I, you know, to her saying I was in your shoes and I wish somebody came to me and gave me an out. Again, it was a effed up version of family love that I don't think these two individuals had seen in a long time. And yeah, I love that, you know, she even said, like, I saw you wearing a mask and did you kill him? And her almost not denying it, but not confirming it. But it was, I think that she knows that the kid is smart to know, like, yes, I did that because they had it coming. And, you know, this is the only way either one of us makes it out of this crazy world. So I think, again, I think that's my favorite scene of this episode.
And I guess last but not least, I mean, Oswald did make it out alive, right? But like everything is just destroyed around him.
Can we talk about how ironic that the spot that saved him was the spot that killed his brothers? You know, he had to go into the hatch in order to save himself, and you got the people knocking to get in, where it was the other way around, where the brothers were knocking to get out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was just like that whole thing just kind of blew my head. I was like, bro, these writers are just cooking over here. Like their pencils are on fire, bro. I don't know what it is.
The close up on his foot also, because that was the thing that like pushed them to do that, is they were forcing him to come down to play hide and seek, and they knew that like he can't do that. He can't, you know, and that's why he was like, fuck you guys. Yeah. And so it's fascinating whenever they close up on his foot.
Yep.
And almost, you know, trying to talk about like not embracing that and not letting it being a thing that people can pick on you easily. I just thought it was so fascinating that the location and the shots of closing in on that foot, and be like, also this thing not only has it physically been like draining you, but also emotionally and mentally has been messing with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is one of the best episodes because there's so much they unpack. Even down to Sophia choosing to say, "Hey, what's the guy's name? Theo's character,
Julian Rush."
Julian Rush.
Yeah, I swear I'm gonna forget his name. She asked him, you know, do me a favor, real quick. Talk to her real quick. And I was like, Sophia, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And so Ronan, I'm gonna let you speak on this. Like, what did you think she was gonna do, and then versus what transpired? Because
it's what I love about this character. It's almost effed up that there's like sympathy and yet manipulation in there. I think she was trying to give Mrs. Cobblepot a one-time therapy session to let stuff out emotionally, and also be like, oh, by the way, where's my drugs at? Where's my stuff at? I want to know all the info. And if you got anything else to say, let it out now, because you ain't getting any help anytime soon. That's how I took of it. And like even me, I was watching like, yo, this is messed up. I don't think she agreed to this. I think she needs this, but it's like I don't think it's your call to make. And it's like, oh, it's a sweet feeling when you're like, I don't know how this is panning out and how this is coming across from a sympathetic way. And it's the genius of Christina, the actress, and Sophia as a character. They're like, you don't know where the dialogue and the intent is coming from.
Yeah, I think you said it maybe a few episodes back that if you took away the fact that this is in the Batman universe, right? This feels like a Godfather situation, bro. Like she goes and like, oh man, we're thinking that there's body parts of the mom there. No, it's a freaking bomb to destroy everything he built. And then she knew, she was like, if you make it out of this, Oswald, come and see me. I got your, you know, I got what you want. And it's like, that is so mobster like mentality, bro. Like it's so fascinating to me that she's playing the long game and she's looking to figure out how to hurt this man. And it's not as simple as just like killing the mom. Like, no, I want you to actually suffer and own some stuff. So yeah, I really thought this episode was dope. But I forget how the episode completely ended? What was the last thing?
It's when Timmy comes out of the rubble, and then that one detective that Sophia meets up with, I think tases him or does something, and then I think the idea is that, okay, you made it, you're alive, you passed the test. Okay, now you gotta go meet with the boss. And so I think they're gonna take him to Sophia's place and have to sit down. I'll be like, where do we go now? Where do we go from here between you and I?
Right, that's crazy, bro.
And shout out to the flashbacks. I think the last flashback scene where Oswald and his mom go out to dance in that club to that song or music she likes, and now she's begging it like she's emotionally like drained, but telling him like, promise me one day I'm gonna get what I deserve because I've earned it. I deserve it. And it's so sad. It's so tragic. Like she's like, please, I need an end to this. I need some peace of mind and like give me something other than that stinky apartment that location in Gotham to get us out. And
yeah, it's sad. She's asked him like 3 different specific things. Like she's like, get me out of here. Right?
Make it. Yeah.
Like tell me to make it. Make sure you make something of yourself. And then the third thing was when she was like slipping into heavy dementia, she was like, I can't become a vegetable. Like I can't be walking around drooling. Like she said, you need to be a man and take care of this. He was like,
you'll be okay. She said, you'll be okay.
Yeah. And it's just, she keeps asking more of him, and he's taking it all in. But again, with the whole Maroney situation, like he didn't own that situation at all. Like he could have easily said to them, like, look, we won this, but this old man, he just died. You know what I'm saying? But the real person I'm about to take down is XYZ. He couldn't even do that. And so, yeah, it's a lot, man. I think the psychology of all the characters is so much more intriguing than even the narrative. And the narrative is great. Like, I just can't believe that this is a Batman story within a story, you know?
Mm-hmm. Can I make a prediction? Because I for sure thought Oswald was gonna her and give her some messed up semblance of peace, his mom, because she was saying, I'm not turning into vegetable.
Well, she asked him if he's
ready to do that, and it's just like, yeah. And I feel like in this finale, my prediction is, I can't believe I'm coming up with this idea. My messed up prediction is that they're gonna have a sit down, and he's gonna see his mom having the dementia thing, and her last thing is just like, you know how I feel about you, and you know what you mean to me. And her probably going out like a gangster, be like, now take care of this bitch and get this over with. And he's like, as you wish, mom. And he shoots his mom and takes care and shoots them. And he's like, all right, he did what I know, dude. It is messed up, but I feel like that is like something I would not see coming, and yet I'd be like, what the fuck? I think Sophia should be like, whoa, what the fuck? And,
I think he's too selfish to do any of that shit.
To an extent, I agree with, but I'm like, he'll be like, us Cowpots were made different, and just
Well, you know what? That's enough of predictions. You guys, as you see this live, once this episode's done, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please let us know in the comments below what you thought about this joint. It's freaking nuts. Finale's coming next week, and we got a lot to talk about, most likely. So we're gonna go. The guys are gone. Busy. Where can everybody find your content, man?
I'm Busy Braun everywhere. Busy Reactions on Instagram. And if you guys want to see reactions to us watching this show, you can go check out my channel.
Oh, what did you rate this episode, Busy?
Another A, man.
Yes, sir. Ronan, where can everybody find you, man?
You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube, on the socials, and best believe coverage for the show is coming down the pipeline. And I would give this show another A. I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know if it makes my top 3, but damn it, does it have some gold with moments in this episode. And nothing has fallen off. And if they stick the landing next week, this is going to be the top 4 list of the shows of the year for me.
Sheesh.
Yes, sir. So we're going to go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, everybody. Wait, I don't know where the outro is. Where is it? I can't find the outro.
Filing out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind.